What's good, everyone? What is good? Welcome back to the channel with yours truly, of course, the Machiavelli. Today we are back with another speed build. Well, it's continuing the last one. But today I'm going to be finishing up the furnishings of this modern mansion. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's a really nice house. So yeah, if you guys want the furnished house now, it's available on the gallery as we speak, so go check that out. And anything else I have to talk about for this commentary? It's pretty much what I did for the last part, you know, it's nothing too different. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Also, I'm gonna be doing the what's it called again? The office, which is one of my favorite rooms I've ever made. It's so sad that I'm gonna be leaving without even using that office. It's just sad. It's really sad. But anyways, guys, hope you'll enjoy. So today, for today's commentary, we're going to be talking again about my current household. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying my current household talks. I'm glad you guys are liking it. We're actually almost caught up to where I'm at in my current household, which is kind of crazy. We're on generation number, let's see. So first one was Skylar, and then there was Sophie, and then there was Zoli, and then there was Christella, then there was Kea, then there was Jackson, Lydia, and now we're almost on Lydia's story, and then we're gonna hop on to Valentina's. Actually, we're gonna start Valentina's story right now. So that's generation number 8. We're on generation number 12, I think, in my actual one. So we're only 5 generations away. I know, but there's still a lot to go. So here we go. So getting off from the last part, a little rundown what happened last part. So Jackson, who is Kea's middle child, generation number 5, yes, and Jackson's generation number 6. So pretty much Jackson ended up marrying his side chick. They ended up having 5 kids together, which were Robin, Elijah, 2 twins, which were Theo and goddamn his name, y'all know so the S, I can't pronounce it, I don't even know why I named him that, and then Lydia, who ended up being the heir, but sadly they got a divorce because I don't know what happened. I guess they fell in love with each other, it just wasn't meant to be, you know, so they got a divorce, and that's pretty much the end of their legacy. They never remarried or anything, so I kind of stopped playing with them after that. I felt bad after that, but it's okay. Ooh, that rug though. Anyways, moving on. So fast forwarding to where we are right now, we're with Lydia. So Lydia ended up, you know, she was a wild child growing up. She ended up getting pregnant at a very young age. She moved out. It didn't work with the baby daddy, so she ended up continuing her party life, and then, you know, she was gonna get cut off, so she decided to get married. She ended up getting married, fell for the guy that she got married to for a little bit. They ended up having 2 more kids together, Valentina being the middle child, who was the heir, and then she ended up breaking off with the dude because she just fell in love with him and decided she wanted to go back to being a party whore. I'm sorry. That's the best way to describe it. So anyways, now we're back to the story. We're talking now about Valentina. I do want to apologize, guys. I'm not the best at telling stories. I never have been. Like I stutter a lot, and I mix up words, so I do apologize, but I'm glad you guys are understanding and still supportive and enjoying it, so thank y'all. So now back to Lydia. So Valentina. So Valentina, growing up, like I said, she never really had a strong mother figure, while her older sister did, because her older sister had, like, you know, her mom since they were like, because she was a teenage baby. Her mom had her at a young age, so her mom was there for her throughout her years as a child and all that. But her mom kind of abandoned Valentina and her younger sister when Valentina just became a child, so, you know, she was just developing, and so she never really had anyone to lean on. You know, her dad tried his best, but he was always working to help them live. They did talk to their grandpa, like their grandma and grandpa, but their dad didn't really want any help from them, you know. It was like he wanted nothing to do with Lydia's family. Like, Lydia's family was always allowed, you know, to like see them, you know. He always allowed Jackson to come see the kids, but he never really accepted any money from Jackson or any help. He wanted to do it all by himself to show that he's, like, you know, not the alpha male, but, you know, like, he can support his kids. He doesn't need a woman's, like, the woman that he loved that abandoned her. You know, he doesn't need their family's help to raise his kids, you know. So he was kind of working like hours on end, and he never had the time to like, you know, get remarried or anything because he was just working so much. And so with that, Valentina never really had a parent really to grow up by, so she was kind of always by herself. She was always that kid always at the corner playing by herself, and she didn't really care that much. She just was happy being by herself. That's the best way she could cope. She didn't really have a lot of people skills. But then what happened was one day her older sister ended up meeting a dude, but before they started dating or anything, he came to the house and, you know, they were friends. And then she really actually grew up. Like I said, she never really had anybody to talk to, but But one day what happened was she was outside playing by herself. They went to the park, and she was playing by herself, and he saw that, so he decided to go ahead and play with her. And then since then, she always had like this little affatuation, that's the word, you know? She always felt affection. I don't even know how to say the word. You know what I'm trying to say? She always was like quote unquote obsessed with the dude in that sense, because he was like the only one that actually showed that he kind of, you know, cared for her or even gave her like the time of day. And so growing up, she always had like this little crush on him, and she always felt happy when he was around. But that she never knew that her older sister was actually kind of, you know, had a crush on him too. And so when she was growing up and when she found out that her older sister started dating the guy, she never really knew what dating was until she became a teenager. And then she felt kind of mad, you know, because she's like, I liked him first, but then she couldn't do anything about it now because they've been dating for like about a year or so. And she felt kind of, she was obsessed with the dude, to be completely honest with you. She was definitely obsessed. But before that, she was definitely, she tried her best to like to get over him, and she tried dating other dudes, but it just never worked. She was always the antisocial girl, and every time he would always come over, he would always go see what she's up to, and she'd always, you know, creep on him. Let's be honest, she was a creeper. She creeps hard. Like I think she walked in on them, like literally, I'm not even joking, she walked in on them while they were woohooing. Her older sister and the boy was woohooing. She walked in on them, and I don't even think she like did anything. I don't even think she left. I think she like, oh my god, she did that, but she stayed there. I'm like, girl, you got problems. She needed help. But anyways, she was definitely, it went from a infatuation to a complete obsession. Like, she obsessed over the dude to the point where she decided that she was gonna try to seduce him, and she was like valid, like she was gonna do it. She knew that she could do it. Like in her head, she's like, I can seduce this dude, he is going to be mine. Even though it was her older sister, she loved her older sister. Even though it was her older sister's boyfriend, she did not care. She felt like she loved him first and that he was hers, and she just felt like they need to be together. So it was her like goal to get her sister's boyfriend. She tried everything she could. So one day what happened was he came home, like, you know, to find her, but then he kind of, not trapped her, but she led him to her bedroom, and then she tried to flirt with him. She's like, no, I don't like you that way. And she kind of took it, like, he kind of took it as like, you know, maybe she's like, she grew a little crush on him, and so she's like, he's trying to be like nice and let her down, but she wasn't having it. She was like, it was getting much for him, and so he ended up having to like leave and go away. Okay guys, I just want to say, guys, I have a very good imagination, so you'll be like, Malik, what are you doing? Guys, when I was playing this current household, I won't say I was bored, but I was just, you know, I wanted to try something I've never done before. I'm like, you know what, let's have a sister go after her sister's boyfriend. Why not? Also, this is like my favorite room in the house, the office. I spent about a good 35 minutes on this room. It took me a while, but it came out so good. But anyways, so that happened, and he kind of felt awkward because she kept on trying to seduce him, you know, and it just wasn't working for him. She just wasn't feeling it until one day. What happened was on graduation, on the day that he graduated, what was his name? I think his name was Ray, actually. I'm gonna call him Ray. On the day that Ray and his sister graduated, they got into a really big fight, and she saw that, and she decided to go ahead and swoop in, and so they kind of broke up for a little period of time. So she decided to go ahead and swoop in, see if he was okay and all that. She ended up getting him, you know, drunk, and just getting him, quote quote unquote drunk. I'd say she drugged him, but you know, she may have stated that it was just orange juice, but you know, she put some vodka in there, a good amount of it. And so she got him drunk, and then she started, you know, flirting with him, and he started reciprocating. You know what I'm trying to say. He started flirting back, and then she went for it. She went ahead and said, I can help you forget about her. And he's like, how? And she just started taking off her clothes. And he was like, I shouldn't do this. He's like, just do it. Like, it's not like, it's okay. And then he ended up doing it. They ended up woohooing, and it was so awkward after that, because he kind of like, he got up, he's like, okay, I gotta go home. Like, this guy ran. He was like, what the hell did I just do? Yes, he slept with his sister's, he slept with his girlfriend's sister, well, his ex-girlfriend at the time, sister. Yeah, it was that thing. And since that, she kind of felt like, ever since they slept together, she always felt like it's official now that he was hers. And so, I don't know, she just wouldn't let it go. Like, she would go over to his house, and she went over to his house when he wasn't there, and then she started like having a conversation with her, like his mother, and they became really good friends, to the point where the mother started inviting her out, and then it got weird. And so he decided that, you know what, he's not with her sister anymore, so there's nothing really stopping him. But she didn't really want to date her, so he's like, you know what, we'll be sex buddies. And so he decided to do that. She took that as a win, because like I said, she was in love with the dude. She was so infatuated by the guy. Like, at this point, he's in college. He's already graduated from high school. He's not a teen anymore. She's still a teenager. His sister, like her sister, it's funny though, because her sister's like complaining to her about how she misses the dude, and she's like, oh well, he's moved on, you know, he's found someone else, and he's not worth your time. She's like talking all like he's a bad guy, but in real life she's actually sleeping with him behind her back. But anyways, so that went on for a long time, to the point where she started realizing that he was like drifting away, and that he was, you know, starting to talk back to her sister. And so she's like, that can't work. So she needs to find a way, you know, to like make sure he doesn't leave her. So she really tried hard to get pregnant. She did every single trick in the book. She poked holes in the condoms. She literally woohooed every 5 minutes. It was crazy how much she woohooed with the dude. It was the point of no return. They literally woohooed. She went to the washroom. They woohooed again. Went to the washroom. She wasn't pregnant. She woohooed again. They woohooed so much in 1 week. It was crazy. Until one point, he just had to stop. He's like, you know, we have to stop. You know, my penis hurts. But honestly, they woohooed a lot. But she never ended up getting pregnant. She was like so upset. She was so mad. But then it was like, you know, too late, because her older sister and the guy started like reconnecting, and they started dating again. And she was like broken when she found out they were dating. She actually wanted, at the time, she wants to blurt out. She literally wanted to go ahead and like blurt out to her sister, like, I'm fucking your boyfriend. She literally wants to do that, because even though they started dating, I don't know what she did or what she had over the dude, but she would always accept a woohoo. I don't know what it was, but no matter what it was, even though she was got back together with her sister, he would always still woohoo with her. And so she would be like, listen, I'm fucking your boyfriend, so he's mine, you know. She wanted to do that, but again, she couldn't do that because that's her sister, right? Until one day, she was chilling at home. And then her sister moved out at this point because she's in college. So she was sitting at home, and then her sister came running in all happy. She's like, yo, what's up? She's like, he proposed to me. And she flipped her shit. When I say she flipped her shit. She's like, what do you mean he proposed to you? Like, she's like twitching. She's like, what do you mean he proposed to you? He's like, yeah, he got me a ring. She had everything. And she was mad. So she came up with a scheme. She's like, listen, she wanted to say it so bad. Like, her mind, she was like, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna tell her that I'm fucking your boyfriend, like on the DL. I'm doing it, you know? But she's like, you know what, I'm gonna show him. So she kind of set it up in her mind that she was gonna go ahead and just ruin the relationship, because she's like, if I can have him, you can have him. So one day what happened was on their like the day that because her sister, like I said, at the time her sister doesn't know about all this like buddy business between her fiance and her sister. I honestly think that's the fiance's fault. I guess the fiance was like, listen, if it's not gonna cause any harm if no one knows, but I'm pretty sure Ray should have told his bride to be that he's having sex with her sister. But anyways, he didn't tell her. So what happened was so she kept on talking to, you know, her sister about, the sister kept on talking to Valentina about how there's gonna be an engagement party at Ray's house, at Ray's mom's house. And so she had like this plan where she was gonna go ahead and sneak into the party and like sneak away with him and, you know, and woohoo them that night. And so she wore her best dress. They went to the engagement party and she full out tried to kiss him. I didn't even do this. I literally planned an engagement party for The Sims, and the first thing that happens was she goes up and she kisses the dude in front of everybody, and he kisses her back, and everyone's like, what? Like, people, like, everyone's like, ooh, and her sister got so pissed off. Like, I'm not joking, guys, this actually happened. The girl is obsessed with the dude. And so she's like, yeah, I've been sleeping with your boyfriend. He's like, no, babe, it's not like that. He's like, yes, it is. And like, the guy has a tattoo on his butt, right? And so she kind of like described the tattoo. He's like, and it was just a big hot mess. It was bad. It was really bad. And so and so the engagement party ended up being really bad because, you know, she was pissed off about the whole thing. She ended up actually breaking up with the dude, and to think, you know, this is the part where it gets really stupid. To think, so now that their engagement is off, right, Ray decides, you know what, since all this happened, like, why not? Let's start dating, right? Let's start something between the two of us, because all this BS has been going on for how long now? Let's just give it a chance, right? She goes ahead, so I have him ask her out, right? And she goes ahead and she rejects him. I'm like, I literally sat there on my computer just like, what was the point of all of this? If the guy finally starts, like, you know, reciprocating back, it's like, you know, let's start dating, you're gonna go and reject the dude? I'm like, my head started to hurt. I was so confused. I was like, what's wrong with my Sims? Like, literally, she was getting mad all this time about how he wasn't proposing, and he was not proposing, but, you know, saying that they're in a relationship, and now he's trying to put some effort in and saying, yo, let's date. You're gonna reject the guy? And so she ends up rejecting him, and she ends up moving away, and he starts, like, you know, not saying, I guess now he's the one who's, like, following her, like, listen, like, what's going on? Like, what? Like, you broke up my engagement with your sister, and then I'm like, you know what, let's just go out, and you're just gonna say no? Like, did you just do this to screw me over? She's like, I don't know. Like, she's like, I loved you, but now I don't. It was so weird. It was so screwed up. But anyways, that's not even it. There's still a whole lot to go more of Valentina's story. Valentina was a mess. She was a hot mess. She ever since she was a kid, I actually never knew it was gonna get that bad, but it got bad. It was a great what's that word again? A great Jesus. Oh my god. Not season. You know what I'm trying to say? Great. Oh my god. I can't remember the word. A great. What's the word? A great. Not legacy. Oh my god. Heir. She was a great heir to play with. That's what I'm trying to say. God help me. I couldn't get my mind to work. But yeah, there's more to talk about because she got like with a new guy and all that stuff. But yeah, she ended up saying no to the guy. It was just a hot mess. But anyways, guys, I hope you all did enjoy this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, go check out the description down below for all the CC links and the hashtags. And I'll talk to you guys on the other side. As always, guys, I am out. Deuces. Bye. Later. Hope you all enjoyed.